Trump's trolling again, folks. If you haven't seen it, stick around. It's a good one. Wearing Nancy Pelosi out with the AI machine. I think somebody else made the video, made the clip, and Trump just retruthed it. But I love it. I love it. Trump's also got some kind words to say about what's really going on in the world. Just telling how the cow ate the cabbage. And I got a couple other things for you, including something going on involving a little more spill on the George Soros Foundation and those creepophiles. All right, here we go.
Well, I think the auto pen is one of the great scandals of our time. The auto pen was our president, or to put it a different way, whoever operated the auto pen was our president. It's not allowed. It's just not allowed. And they gave a pardon to the Unselect Committee after the Unselect Committee realized that that whole situation was a hoax and it was all their fault, including Nancy Pelosi turning down security and all, turning down soldiers. It all came out bad for them. They burned everything. They got rid of everything. There's absolutely nothing there. It's all gone. And that was based on an auto pen. They gave those members of Congress that were on the Unselect Committee, they gave them pardons. What do you think? So I think it's a tremendous scandal.
What do you think the media would say if you pardoned your kids your last day in office via an auto pen? Don't you think the media would go?
Well, I think it would have been a big story. I like this guy.
And Trump went on to say a few more things on a retruth. He said, Trump went on to say a few things on a truth.
I haven't gotten into any road rage incidents since driving again.
Had a feeling it was going to do that. All right, let's get back down here to my conversation. It says the Biden auto pen scandal is big. It's not as big as the Russia hoax or the rigged 2020 presidential election, but nevertheless, one of the biggest ever. The Biden auto pen scandal is not the biggest, folks, but it is definitely ranks up there. Now, Trump also doing a little trolling today, I thought was hilarious. I seen this just here recently. Actually been out all day. I just, I guess, slipping or been busy at work, one of the two. Give all props to Carly Bone, who, I guess, put this out, and Trump retweeted it. That's her channel name, for those that want to know. This is classic, folks. This is good stuff.
I left Congress. My trades are shit. I can't get any insider information anymore, and these fuckers won't tell me anything anymore. So I've been drinking a lot more. My husband's still in love with a homeless hammer guy, visiting him in jail and shit. So it hasn't been easy. Okay. I left Congress. My trades are shit. I can't get any insider information anymore, and these fuckers won't tell me anything anymore. So I've been drinking a lot more. My husband's still in love with a homeless hammer guy, visiting him in jail and shit. So it hasn't been easy. Okay. I left Congress. My trades are shit.
Yeah, I had to watch that one twice, folks. That's the good stuff right there. Yeah, Trump is masterclass trolling. I wonder how many hours a day he actually gets time to spend on the internet, looking through tweets and retruths and what I call truth bombs. And it may even be over here on Twitter some. Who really knows? It says this here is actually an article that I was reading, and I went down the rabbit hole and found the clip that it was originated from. And I will read to you this channel called The Skiff, which is a really good channel as far as getting nut and bolt information about all kinds of things involved in our crooked ass government, including the NGOs, George Soros, the Hillary Foundation, the Clinton Foundation, the Soros Foundation. This channel here, if you're ever over on Twitter, or otherwise known as X, The Skiff, The Intel Skip is a great channel as far as a news source goes. It says Soros-funded NGOs that led violent protests across America qualify for RICO charges connecting to Soros himself, opening up investigations and potential indictments. The Open Society Foundation and the Tides Foundation are two of many dark money and taxpayer-funded NGOs connected to George Soros and his global network of violent minions. These organizations pay people to do everything from annoying protests to push globalist agendas to violent car burnings, brick throwing, Molotov cocktails, burning of Tesla cars as well, destroying American cities and putting American citizens at risk. And we didn't even use the rest of the terminology to describe how these people have been acting during these riots. Just vile, violent, murderous. It says Trump has called for an investigation to finally put an end to this sideshow of never-ending violence across America. So Trump is going to stop, not just going to clean up the cities one by one, including starting in Chicago today, but he's also going to find a way to prevent these hoodlums from getting funded to throw bricks and start riots and fight the police. You know, a lot of this stuff is funded from the outside towards these, I guess, these inner city idiots. But Trump can fix this. If you defund these situations or put them in a bind with legal situations like throwing their ass in jail, we won't have the problem with them being able to fund violence in these cities. I'm sure the protests will go down to like 1% of what they were the minute the money dries up. That's just the facts. But Trump says there will be no more of laying pallets of bricks out before protests, and these type of things need to be 100% investigated. We need to find out exactly who's behind it. We kind of already know. And at this point, it's just a matter of collecting enough proof with financial records and things to throw RICO acts at these foundations, including the Soros Foundation and the Tides Foundation. You said we done took down, which was interlinking between the three. Specific NGOs connected to and funded by George Soros, known as the Open Society, Tides Foundation, are connected to recent violence. Not recent. Been going on for 8 years at least.
I want to transition to George Soros. There are some serious allegations. They're only allegations, but there's some thought that maybe RICO charges should be brought with some of the organizations tied to George Soros. Tell us about that.
Yeah, of course, I'm not a lawyer, but I've spent a lot of time studying this. RICO is a statute, was passed in 1970 to target organized crime and individuals who were financing and supporting criminal activity, because what was happening is they were arresting the guy on the street, but the guys that were behind it, that were organizing it and financing it, weren't getting arrested. So RICO was passed. It's been used in the past against the Aryan nations. It's been used against white supremacists in Mississippi. The National Organization of Women tried unsuccessfully to use it against pro-life groups. And what it comes down to is this: George Soros on the left, Elon Musk on the right, completely have the right to finance political activities. The question becomes, if you are funding organizations that are engaging in criminal conduct, violent criminal conduct. Think, for example, of the Los Angeles riots, some of the groups behind that. Think about the attacks on Tesla that have taken place. There was an attack down in Georgia in 2023 where they were throwing fire bombs and attacking cops at a place called Cop City. The organizations behind that were funded by funding networks like the Tides Foundation and the Open Society Foundation, which George Soros, of course, funds. So the question is, if they are funding organizations that are known to engage in criminal, violent conduct, could they be charged under RICO? And I think there is a precedent there, and I think it's something that ought to be looked at by prosecutors, because, again, we want to have a very strong conversation in America about the future of our country. We do not want wealthy individuals funding violent protesters that are tearing down our cities and that are harming law enforcement officers.
Yeah, look, it's about the most American thing you can do to protest your government. right? That's their First Amendment right. But when it tips over into violence, when you have pallets of bricks showing up, that is potentially something that is, something that leads to violence. Last word, I have just a few seconds.
Yeah, no, I think the bottom line is this is something that ought to be investigated. If it's not occurring, if there's no criminal conspiracy here, that's fine. But it ought to at least be looked at by lawyers who can ascertain what is going on, because these protests, these violent protests are highly organized and they are clearly well funded, Jason.
Yeah, it is clear. And they're not spontaneous the way so many of them are trying to suggest that they are when they show up with the same masks and the same information.
Same signs. Oh, yeah, well organized. Kind of like the Democrat marches they had here in town to, I guess, protest the election here in town. There was about 20 or 30 of them. I rode by them, and they were just some people standing on the corner with their hate Trump signs. I guess it was about immigration or something before the election. And I think I took a couple of video clips of it. But when I drove by and got real close, I realized this woman had, in her little SUV, had about 1,000 signs in her car. And she was just hoping somebody would come by so she could give them a sign so they could stand in solidarity with the 15 or 20 people that were out there here in Waco, Texas, that just hated Trump enough to stand out there and jump up and down like idiots. I can't stand the Democrat Party either, but I don't see the need to protest at this point. But if I believe in something, I do believe in protest, and I do agree with free speech. I believe everybody has the right to protest. Don't get me wrong. It's our First Amendment right. But when it comes to promoting violence, violence is not speech. Some speech is violent, but violence itself, there's no place for it in a protest. We've all seen what happens, how they go awry. And I don't think it's due to just the animosity of the scene going on a lot of times. I think it's a lot of times that's the narrative they want to go with. They want to cause a scene, and that's the whole point of the whole situation. All right, folks, I got one more clip for you here today, and we will call it a wrap. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful Monday afternoon. Last clip of the day, and let me scroll down to it. All right, here we go. This is Mr. Ed Martin, who is special counsel to Trump, and he's also the lead investigator there in Washington, D.C. This guy's got credentials as long as my arm. One of the good guys. Listen to what he's talking about here. Mr. Ed Martin, one of the guys that's actually going to get some stuff done in Washington. I'm talking about the J6 prosecutions. The Adam Schiffs and the hopefully the Liz Cheneys and the Benny Thompsons, all the people that done all they could to lock these people up forever. Bear with me, folks. Here we go. This is actually a great interview from Maria Bartiromo with Mr. Ed Martin, who is putting on a full-scale investigation into what the hell happened with the J6 committee, these people not having any rights, the pardons aren't legitimate. Just check it out.
Real quick, what about the January 6th committee? Did they destroy evidence? Is there criminality there?
Of course, we're all in that too. And trust me, a lot of people did not get a pardon that were involved in the select committee, and they ought to be keeping an eye on their mailbox, because there's a lot to be asked about.
And the pardons that were given out were done by an auto pen. Are they legitimate?
Well, yeah, I'm the pardon attorney, so I'm in that too. I can tell you we're investigating how the pardons were granted. It was not like anything in the history of America what not Joe Biden, his staffers did, not just with the auto pen, but with faking him out on the memos. More to come, Maria. I'm telling you, Pam Bondi has let us loose, and when this comes out, it'll take the whole of these people's hoaxes down, and we're doing it bit by bit, and it's fantastic. It's a great privilege.
Unbelievable. Real quick, what about the January 6th committee?
It's coming, folks. Ed Martin is going to be one of the guys that is on the news a lot here in the future, telling us about the indictments that have just dropped on the people we want to hear the hammer drop on. I'm talking about the Adam Schiffs and so many more that are just guilty dead to right, behind fraud, conspiracy to defraud Trump of his rights. So many things. Hopefully we're going to get Fauci in there too. I think the pardons are going to be proven null and void while all these cases end up being pending, waiting on that decision. After this ball gets rolling, I think 2025 was a year of exposure. 2026 will be the year of prosecutions. Just my guess, folks. I believe it'll all start, the crap will start rolling downhill here in the next 6 months or so, which rolls us over into 2026. That's what I got for you today, folks. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. I want to give a special shout out to one of my listeners, Donald Strickland. Just thanking you for all your donations and help with the blessings I'm able to spread out on the weekends with your help, my wife's help, and so many people that are involved now, and just making it happen each and every weekend. I'm talking about helping the homeless, feeding the homeless, making these blessing bags. Shout out to Donald Strickland and so many people that have contributed in the past that makes this work. Thank you. Over and out, folks. Have a good one.